What everybody, it's your boy the Infinite Dragon here, and today we're going to be reacting to a death battle. Finally, I've been waiting forever to do one of these. We're going to look at Scrooge McDuck versus Shovel Knight. This is one of the newer ones, at least at the time of this video, and I'm hype. I wonder why they put, it makes sense. They both have similar movesets, and they're both, their games are revolved around money, so I guess it makes sense why they're together. But enough of me talking, let's get into it. Play. I'm not sure if I like the new
Some
graphics.
people adventure for wealth. For others, the wealth is in the adventure.
Either way, you'll be successful if you can bounce off your enemies' heads.
Like Scrooge McDuck, the wealthiest waterfowl to ever live.
And Shovel Knight, a shining example of the code of chivalry. He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick.
And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills
Knight
to
is
find
such
out
a hard
who would
game.
win a death battle. In 1867, Scrooge McDuck was born to a poor family in Glasgow, Scotland. He grew up a relatively normal duckling until his 10th birthday.
Scrooge's father took him to see the remains of the old McDuck clan castle. See, their family wasn't always super poor, and Scrooge was inspired by the sight of their former glory. So the next day, he got a job and earned his first money ever. A dime.
Problem was, it was an American dime, and Scrooge was in Scotland. Naturally feeling pretty cheated, Scrooge swore he'd build his fortune by being, I quote, tougher than the toughies and sharper than the sharpies.
So he hopped over to America to start his quest for wealth.
What's a toughie and
And
what's a
judging
Sharpie,
by his
the
money
way?
vault
What is
today,
that?
where he literally swims in gold, I'd say he did a pretty effing good job.
No obstacle was too difficult to keep him from fortune. By my estimations, his entire net worth today rests around
300
$300 quadrillion.
Rich as he is, he's got to defend his treasure trove somehow. So this wealthy waterfowl's got more guns than I do. Not to mention the trusty cannons he has hidden around his manor. Haha, nothing like some old-fashioned artillery for home defense.
Scrooge also has a number of unorthodox high-tech firearms.
Or as normal
King
people
Burglar
call
Center.
them, laser guns. My favorite is the
can't
one that
pronounce
can
either
shoot
word,
through
right?
solid steel titanium. It's called the Burglar Stunner, but I'm pretty sure that'll do a hell of a lot
That's
more
called
than stun
murder.
you.
Well, my favorite would be Scrooge's neutrofriction and anti-inertia rays. By removing a target's
Anti-inertia,
natural
okay.
friction and inertia, these guns can turn a foe so slippery they can't grip anything, or take away all momentum from that foe's movement and weight. Without friction, a person will slide miles upon miles with no hope of stopping themselves. Without inertia, a cannonball will have even less impact than falling leaves, though it is important to note that these guns do not affect personal gravity.
Yeah, science and stuff. Though if I were him, I'd prefer the
I
feel of one of
understand,
his
but I also
rifles
don't
or
understand,
swords.
you know?
Or his signature sidearm, his trusty cane.
What's so special about a dusty old cane, you ask? Well, just look at the old quack go! Not every duck can turn their cane into both a club and a pogo stick.
Even when he's unarmed, Scrooge's thirst for wealth has pushed his body past many preconceived
Word?
limits.
Yo.
He possesses incredible strength, speed, and durability.
Not to mention, the dude's got some serious huevos. One time when he was stuck in the savannah, he walked right up to a lion, beat it in a roaring match, and then just rode it all the way to town.
He's also a surprisingly skilled marksman.
Like some sort of gun-toting Mr. Miyagi, he can shoot flies out of the air with perfect precision.
And he's no
That's my
slouch
dude.
with a blade. Apparently, Buffalo Bill taught him how to knife fight in, engine style. And now's a great time to remind you that Scrooge is pretty old. It was a different time.
Racism aside, it takes a lot to put this mighty mallard down. He survived the Titanic sinking, being frozen solid in the Yukon, fighting hordes of wild animals, and taking a cannon shot to the face before being dragged through a minefield. He's even survived a trip to the
Cartoon.
literal center of the Earth, which, if you've forgotten, is pretty much super lava.
That's putting it mildly. The Earth's core is estimated to be well over 9,000 degrees Fahrenheit.
More than hot enough to cook your goose.
He's outrun a
9,000.
cheetah, which can reach 75 miles per hour. He's stopped a charging water buffalo, which can weigh up to 2,600 pounds.
And did you ever hear that legend where George Washington threw a silver dollar across the Potomac River? Well, Scrooge can do that too. And he even caught the coin on the other side. Because Scrooge isn't gonna waste a single dollar.
Seems pretty impressive, but Scrooge has some massively
Word?
problematic flaws. Least of all is his age. He's 150 years old. That won't do him any favors in a fight.
And why can't he fly?
Word?
I mean, he's a duck with his own private plane.
he's still no
and
slouch.
he has human teeth, and they really should just hire a poultry scientist at Disney. Oh, I'll send my resume.
Well, more importantly would be his overpowering greed. He can often lose sight of his goals or explode into an uncontrollable rage if someone threatens his wealth.
He is pretty selfish and has a one-track mind. I don't know if the uncontrollable rage part, though, is such a bad thing.
Certainly not in some situations, like the time Soapy Slick tried to rip Scrooge off, steal his property, and humiliate him by chaining him to a steamboat and making fun of his letters from home, including one informing Scrooge of his mother's passing.
What do you do to get out
That's
of it?
more than enough to piss Scrooge off. So much that he literally tore the entire boat apart with his bare hands. Or wings. Holy damn, that's some real foul
That's so
strength.
cool.
Just goes to show that nothing can stand between Scrooge
That's so
and his
cool.
wealth.
I don't know which was wilder in those days, the wolves or me.
A long time ago, the world was wild, and adventurers roamed the land. The most famous of whom were partners
Shovel
Shield
Knight
Knight
has such
and
good
Shovel
music.
Knight.
You can tell how good they are by the giant piles of loot behind them.
Shovel Knight and Shield Knight traveled together, and they were the stuff of legend. That is, until the Tower of Fate.
Once inside, a cursed amulet knocked Shovel Knight out cold. When he woke up, Shield Knight was gone and the tower was sealed shut. And boy, did that bum him out. So, like all depressed heroes, he abandoned everything and went to the wilderness to do a bunch of farming and most likely drinking.
Soon after he retired, an evil woman called the Enchantress took power, along with a group of villainous knights known as the Order of No Quarter. Get it? It's funny. So maybe retiring wasn't the most responsible idea.
Man's gotta mourn, Wiz. Man's gotta mourn.
You mean like when you took a week off to mourn after your divorce? Because I'm pretty sure all you did was get drunk and shoot fireworks at my house.
Ah, yeah. Man, that was a real good mourn. Well, anyway, Shovel Knight's break didn't last long. After the Enchantress and
I
her
don't know what
knights took
video that
hold of
was,
the
but
land,
that's funny.
the Tower of Fate unsealed. Knowing it was his only chance to find out what happened to Shield Knight, he dug back into action. And with him, he took his mightiest weapon. A shovel.
Don't sell it short. It's not just any shovel, it's a shovel blade. And thanks to its surprisingly versatile nature, it can slash through anything from rats to...
Holy crap! Did he just kill a dragon with that thing?
Yes, he did.
That reminds me of the time I made my own weapon out of a yard tool. I miss my rake blade, but everyone got really confused and offended whenever I yelled my catchphrase, "Prepare to get raked!" So I stopped using it.
Oh, probably smart. Well, thanks to the Shovel Blade's unique attributes, Shovel Knight has a repertoire of deadly attacks, his signature being the Shovel Drop.
This deadly downward drop allows him to dig
Shovel
into
drop.
his enemies, pogo stick style. Now, where have I seen that before?
He also has a charge attack that, when unleashed, does massive damage and can even penetrate armor. If his enemy is more than a scoop's reach away, he can strike the earth to fire a dangerous
game is
spark that
so
travels
hard,
along
though.
the ground.
You know what else it's good for? Digging up all of that sweet, sweet treasure.
But the Shovel Blade is far from his only weapon. Throughout his journey, Shovel Knight has acquired many magical relics, which are quite handy in battle, though they do require access to a limited supply of magic to use.
He can set stuff on fire with the flare wand, or punch through compact dirt with the dust knuckles.
He can also take the wind out of his enemies with the throwing anchor, or fly a short distance with the propeller dagger.
If Shovel Knight needs to kill bad guys in those hard-to-reach spaces, he has his trusty Chaos Orb, which acts like a bouncy ball of doom.
He also possesses the Mobile Gear, a mechanism which allows him to traverse dangerous terrain such as spikes and small gaps with ease.
Mobile gear.
I didn't know you could do that.
But my favorite
With the-
relic is the War Horn, which is kind of like the Horn of Gondor, but it makes people explode.
Screen nuke.
Shovel Knight carries a few defensive relics as well.
Yeah, like those sweet fish goblets.
You mean the Truple Chalices. These special liquid receptacles can carry ichors, substances which, when drunk, provide certain benefits to Shovel Knight. Most notably, the Ichor of Renewal, which fully restores his health and magic.
And how do you get such a useful liquid? from a bunch of fish that perform an interpretive dance and spit in your cup.
Fish dance.
It's dinner and a show.
Last but not least is the Phase Locket. This relic allows Shovel Knight to pass through his enemies and even grants him temporary invincibility while under its effect.
Like all good knights, our shovel-wielding friend protects himself with a suit of shining armor. Actually, he's got a few of them.
His most capable all-around set is the Dynamo Mail. Along with providing the kind of defense you need for fighting the forces of evil, it has an added bonus. Hitting just about anything with his shovel drop builds up a powerful charge attack.
Normally, a large suit of armor comes with a lot of extra weight, but Shovel Knight doesn't let that slow him down.
Even in full plate, our delving hero seemingly never tires and is agile enough to dodge everything from cannonballs to fireballs.
Actually, the weight is more of a bonus since his attack of choice is bouncing on heads. Where's math
I
that?
think my screen capture just stopped. Alright guys, my screen capture stopped and I don't know why, but we're just gonna keep going. Let's see if I can fix it.
On it, comparing his height to these doors, Shovel Knight appears to be about 4 feet 6 inches tall. Given his broad physique, he likely weighs approximately 100 pounds at most. In the 14th century, a knight's plate armor for combat typically weighed about 60 pounds. Scaling to Shovel Knight's height, his armor likely weighs 50 pounds. Including the 5-pound shovel, he must drop with a force of over 6,700 joules of kinetic energy. In comparison, Mike Tyson can punch with up to 1,600 joules and has knocked out 44 people in the ring. And Shovel Knight's striking power is over 4 times stronger than that.
Good job! No wonder Shovel Knight was able to take down the entire Order of No Quarter, including a giant steampunk mech and the Enchantress herself.
He's also stubborn enough to hold his breath underwater for an impressively indefinite amount of time. And he even held his own against the Battletoads and Kratos, the upcoming god of war.
Kratos is in this game?
What the hell? Really? That's awesome! Guess you sell enough games, you can get anybody.
But even after all that, Shovel Knight doesn't seem the most intelligent warrior. After all, the only reason he gave up on Shield Knight for so long is because he just assumed she was dead.
Still, he's one deadly warrior who isn't afraid to put his enemies 6 feet under. You know, because he digs holes and stuff.
Alright, the combatants are set. Let's end this debate once and for all.
Scrooge McDuck versus
First,
Shovel
I've
Knight.
got some free food for you.
And skip. We're skipping this. Sync that up. Alright, because this fight is in Scrooge McDuck's house, he's gonna win. That was pretty cool. See, where is he getting these candies from? I know they're in the house, but come on now. Oh look, the pool for the money. The empty inertial ray that needs the friction ray. see.
KO!
Damn, that's cold.
Thieves
With his
beware.
own weapon.
Yo.
Shovel Knight might have been able to uphold the code of chivalry, but he could not hold up to Scrooge's wealth of experience and superior strength.
Aside from the extra 100+ years of experience he's
Look at
got
that
over
man.
Shovel Knight, Scrooge's feats blew him out of the water. For example, there's no way that Shovel could have put him down very quickly when he's powered through a minefield like it's nothing.
And remember how he threw a coin across the Potomac River and rode across fast enough to catch it? Well, we know the average width of the river is 1,300 feet, and he threw the coin at an angle of 20 degrees. After some quick calculations, this means he must have thrown the coin, boarded his boat, rowed across the entire river, and exited the boat to catch the coin in less than 5.4 seconds. This means he must have been rowing the boat at speeds well over 164 miles per hour.
Jesus, how fast are his arms moving there?
To make all that work, at least
Rounds per minute?
14,400 rotations
Woo!
per minute.
That's ducking awesome.
He is strong enough to rip apart a steamboat after all. But regardless of Scrooge's power, Shovel Knight had very little options to defend against the Duck's wackier physics-breaking
Cartoon
weaponry.
physics.
Those that could buy him some time could only last for so long.
We need to
due
see
his
Mickey
limited
Mouse
supply
versus
of magic.
Bugs Bunny.
Plus, Scrooge has fought knights and magicians before, while Shovel Knight never fought anyone quite like Scrooge McDuck. Looks like Shovel Knight dug his own grave.
The winner is Scrooge McDuck.
Next time on Death Battle.
Next time on Death Battle.
Venom. Venom is one of my favorite Marvel characters, period. So Venom. Who would fight Venom though? Listen guys, if you enjoyed the video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. I probably had a lot of technical difficulties because my capture software stopped working. If you guys have better capture software that I can get for free, let me know. I'm just stuck with what I have right now. Yeah, that's about it. Venom versus who? Let me know who you guys think Venom is gonna be fighting, because I can only think of like Carnage. Who else will have a symbiotic relationship with somebody? I don't know. But anyway, that's about it, guys. So I'll see you later. It is late. I need to go to sleep. Bye.